Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, I am showing you a new Lugia card. Coming out in the upcoming Sun and Moon 7A Thunderclap Spark in Japan, it'll be Sun and Moon 8 over here. Interesting side note, Sun and Moon 8 is going to have Lugia GX in. Look at the artwork for the pack in Japan. Tell me there's not going to be a Lugia GX in that set. And that's good, because it looks a lot like Lugia's done something to offend the card makers over in Japan. Because this card's not very good, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the basics are pretty great. It's got 130 HP, which means it can take a hit from Zoroark, and it can take a hit from Silvally, which is awesome. It's got a retreat cost of 2, which means it can't quite use a skateboard, but I can kind of forgive it that. It's got a weakness to lightning, which does mean it's weak to Zero Aura. But there's not that many good lightning Pokemon around at the moment, and the ones that are weak to Buzzwole, which means a weakness to lightning is a really good one to have. And you've got resistance to fighting, so if Buzzwole comes up against you, you're like, in your face, Buzzwole, 20 less damage. And you're not hitting anything for weakness, which sucks, but you do get double colourless energy being a colourless Pokemon. So the basics here are looking quite good. But when we get to the attacks, translated by the lovely David Hochmann, Mr. RapelmannTCG himself, we look at it and go, what did Lugia do to offend the Pokemon Company? Now, to be fair, the first attack is alright. 1 colourless energy, 30 damage, and you get to search your deck for a basic energy and attach it to this Pokemon. Then you shuffle your deck. Now, we talked about this very recently, by which I mean yesterday, with Electivire, who had a very similar attack, although it attached 2 energy rather than 1. And we talked about it with Reshiram GX a little while ago, and my point is this. Every time you search your deck for energy and attach it to yourself, or even attach it from the discard to be fair, you then pass to your opponent and it's their turn. And they get a free hit. So you basically sit there saying, hey Mr. Opponent, would you like to get a free hit on me? That doesn't sound particularly nice. Then you build in stuff like Gardevoir, but that extra energy you've attached means they can do an extra 30. Or Tapu Lele, and then that extra energy they've attached allows them to do an extra 20. And it really is starting to look a little bit like, come on. Really? Really? It's just a bit meh. Now, counter-argument, you can clearly see that the second attack here is for 4 colourless energy, which means that you attach 1 basic energy for this first attack, then you use this first attack so that you can get an extra energy, then you've got 2 energy on you, then next turn you attach a double colourless energy, and that is all the energy you need to get this second attack up and rolling. But that's an attachment for your first turn, an attack, and then a double colourless energy, and you need all of that just to get the requisite 4 energy on here. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, if this sounds a teensy bit naive, but come on. The good news is there is a second attack here. 4 colourless energy, 110 damage. 4 energy, 110 damage. Now put it this way. I did a video the other day about Onix from the same set. And I still contend Onix is a good card. It does 120 for 4 energy, but it hits weakness on stuff like Zoroark and Silvally. So, you know what? It's really quite good. Now, a lot of people have said, what are you going to do? Put 2 double colourless energy on there? No. No, I'm not. Although if you go back and watch the video, I did say that was a bad idea. But in decks like Malamar, for instance, or decks like Magnezone, i.e. decks that are naturally accelerating a lot of energy anyway, this gives you a built-in counter to Zoroark, because as long as you can get the 4 energy on there easily, and Magnezone and Malamar both can, this gives you a single prize non-GX Pokemon that can take down Zoroark, and it basically gives you a nice option to take a 2 prize KO with a 1 prize Pokemon, and giving yourself hopefully a little bit of a jump ahead in the prize race. I like Onix for that reason. But if we go back to Lugia here, it does 110 for 4 energy, that's worse. And you're not hitting for any kind of weakness, because nothing's weak to colourless. And then you're asking yourself, well, if 4 energy on an Onyx, 4 colourless energy, was a bit expensive when you're hitting one of the best weaknesses you can hit, why would you want to do 10 less for the same attack cost if you're not hitting for weakness? And I'm not entirely convinced you're going to want to. And that is a big, big problem. Now, good news is you'll get all the evolving basics like Grubbin, and you'll get the evolving stage 1s like Curlier. And there are some of the bigger basics like Tapu Koko have 110 HP that you will be getting a one-hit KO on here as well. Now, you won't be getting stuff like Volcanion that's up at 130, although that will have rotated, so that's alright. And you won't be getting Registeel up at 130, which won't have rotated, so that's not alright. But then we sit here and we go, well, hang on a second. Are we really putting 4 energy onto a Lugia just so we can KO a Tapu Koko or a Curlier? Registeel with a single down Mize on the bench will get a KO on a Curlier while accelerating energy. A Buzzwole with a strong energy and a Diancie Prism Star, which admittedly is not the easiest thing to pull off, but it's really not that difficult, will get a one-hit KO on a Tapu Koko while also doing 30 damage to the bench. I don't like this attack. And bearing in mind, right, I am usually a little bit down on attacks that accelerate energy, because then you're just sitting there waiting to take a hit. So imagine you take that, and I'm not impressed with that to begin with, and then you add in this ridiculous attack, which doesn't do much damage, for a lot of cost, and you're just thinking, well, this is dumb. Like, really, really dumb. I don't like it. Good news is, in the expanded format, you could evolve it into a Lugia Break, for instance, and you'd gain an extra 20 HP, and you would gain an attack, which is slightly less embarrassing, which is quite nice. I mean, you do 150, but time you add a choice band on there, you do 180. So stuff like Drampa and Tapu Lele, for instance, will be going down. And, okay, fine, it's 4 energy, but so's this, so that's alright. But I suppose if you're looking at that, well, what was the last Lugia we got? Well, we got one in Fates Collide. And it had a really nice ability saying damage done is reduced by 20. And then it could do 120 to an EX for free energy. Now, to be fair, it was only to an EX, and then when GXs came along, that was a little bit of a pain. But it did 120 for free energy rather than 110 for 4. I mean, even if we look at the recent Shining Lugia, free colourless energy, 120 against a Pokemon with an ability, that's not great, but it's 10 more for 1 less energy. 4 energy, 130, discard 1, so you're doing an extra 20 damage, but you've got to discard. Lugia's not had a lot of luck lately, to be honest with you. Lugia's not had much luck in terms of having good cards, and this is a bad card. Now, the good news is, like I said, in Sun and Moon 8, we are getting Lugia GX, and there were 2 Lugia EXs released, both of which were really good. So maybe Lugia GX is going to save it. Because at the moment, this Lugia is a bad card, and it just makes me sit here and think, what did Lugia do to upset the Pokemon trading card game so bad they would hoist this card upon it? I'm giving it 2 Wassies, and honestly, that feels a little bit generous. Most of the time, I can look at a card and go, I like it. I stand by my assessment of Onix as a useful tech in any deck that can accelerate energy easily, because it hits a good weakness. Lugia has no such redeeming features, and I'm forced to say, you're trash, Lugia, you're trash. But maybe you can find a redeeming feature for Lugia, in which case, There's a comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves. Until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio. Oh, I just realised it was a promo. Also, maybe we get it a pre-release. Oh no, wait, 'cause it's going to be a promo.